Hey, kiddos. All right, for intermission one on Fyrakk, just a couple of things we need to understand first before we go in. This is where we're going to need to be pressing the macro, and this is where we're going to be wiping on a lot, honestly, just because of the macro either bugging out or whatever. We'll try to find the best way or the easiest way to do it. I might even find a way to send immunities early or divide them based on how the pull goes. We'll talk about that later, of course, while we're progging. Because we have a lot of immunities in the comp, and I think we definitely should utilize that for our first skill. Anyways, so the boss hits the ground, you either get a red debuff or a purple debuff. Okay? If you have the red debuff, you can soak the red stuff, the fire stuff basically. Purple debuff, you can soak the shadow stuff. And the way the Wikora works, or the macro works, whatever it is if you're red, only if you're red. If you're fire, you press the macro. As soon as 10 people press it, it assigns everybody to a specific spot behind the boss so they can soak. You get a specific position behind the boss in an arc, and you have to soak your color basically there. It's not as easy or as straightforward as you think it is. Dratnos will explain it in a bit, but that's generally it. You gate, you press the gate or whatever, you move, you press the macro if you're red, only if you're red. Yeah, and we'll talk about how to make that easier also. There's a way to configure the private ores and make it easier for you. You press the macro, you get assigned a spot, and you go to your position. There will be 3 waves of balls, of orbs coming in that phase. Wave 1 we do normally, wave 2 we do normally, wave 3 we do immunities, and I'll talk about that later. I'm going to press and we'll see this together now. Press macro if you're red, yeah? They press the macro, he was assigned to the spot here. You see where he is? R2, basically right 2. So from the right, he takes the second orb. They get into position. He needs to count the orb. So from there, orb 1, someone else is going to take it, orb 2. Normally, based on the picture he got before, you think that he'd be here, basically. But no, really, he isn't. He's standing next to R1. Whatever R1 is, or R1 orange. I think they're using the liquid Wikora. We'll check. But regardless whatever position you get, you will see it easily. Okay, this is wave 1. He looks for the orange orb. He takes it. That's number 2. Again, he looks for the orange orb. You see, notice how he took that one first and then this one second. Because R1 takes the furthest one. If you're number 1, you take the one closest to the edge. If you're 2, you take the one after that. And you hear the raid leader calling counting. That means count your orbs so you can get to them. And then this is the third set. He immunes, running from the outer in. That's how they immune it. So the trick here is it's not straightforward. Yeah, if it tells you R2, that doesn't mean, oh no, stand here and soak at whatever comes here. No, you have to count, basically. We're going to watch Dratnos explain it.
Everybody presses their macro. Everybody presses their macro fast so that you can get them. This
Everybody that's marked with red presses their macro fast.
This UI won't come up until it's too late or until everybody presses all their macros. So if you don't have 10 people pressing their fire macros within the first few seconds of this phase, it's too slow and they need to press faster because otherwise people won't be able to correctly get all the way to their assigned spots in time. Then you get to your spots, and then what you need to do is you need to call out, everybody turn your camera around, look behind you, and identify which orb is yours. So for instance, I'm L1 purple, so I start from the left, and I count until I find 1 purple. So I go, that's not purple. 1, that's purple. All right, that's my orb. I'm going to soak it. And it sounds easy when you put it that way, but obviously it's harder if you're L3 purple. If you're L3 purple here, first of all, you wouldn't be standing here. You'd be standing more over here. But you'd swivel your camera around, and you'd have to count. And you'd be like, okay, I'm L3 purple. That's not purple. 1, that's not purple. 2, that's not purple. 3, and you'd go and soak that one. And it doesn't always do this nice pattern of alternating. Sometimes there'll be 2 of the same color next to each other, so you can't just rely on a certain position for these things. And you literally need everybody in your raid to swivel their camera around and count up to the number that they have. of their color, and then run and go and soak that. Now, during these soaks, blazes are also coming out, so it's nice to be moving early and to get into the line of your soak as soon as possible so that you can then avoid hectically moving with blaze, trying to catch your orb as it's going in, and then bring this blaze into the raid, right? Like if this L2 orange person was less on the ball, and if they were over here, they would need to be running this way to catch their orange orb as it's coming in.
Basically, you pre-position. That's what that was saying. So you pre-position because if you get blaze, you want people to move out of your blaze earlier. But the whole trick here is you have to count how they come in, basically. Okay, wave 1, wave 2 is done. About wave 3 now. This is what Echo also drafted. So you always look outside and you go in. This is not how the way we'll do it. The way we'll do it is like this, basically. That's wave 3 for us, the immunity wave. Now, if you notice, Eddie and Void, only one of you is needed here, not both. So what we can do is I can hold one hunter, and let Eddie do this, for example. Hold one hunter and 2 paddles. Keep in mind you have 2 paddles. So 3 total. They can literally immune and soak everything in section 2, 3, and 4, which leaves section 1 and 5 for wave 2 I'm talking. Yeah, wave 2 only I'm talking. So there is a way. I think we can figure out a way to actually play around with this, yeah? Even wave 2 of bulls, I can just have Void immuning all of this only and leaving the rest for other people. So you can, if you're 2 people on fire, you can take it. We'll talk about it later anyways, but for now, that's the general idea. For the final wave, we'll have 5 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, in the note, I prioritized Hayden, Menzies, Eddie to be on the left, Rogening, Swingy, and Void to be on the right. Now, it depends. We don't know exactly how it will be, but we'll see how it will work out, of course, when we're on the bus, but that's how the plan is. So Ryan and Hayden, you will always be on the left. Swingy and Rogening, you will always be on the right. Eddie and Void, based on how Northern Skies Vikora works, your priority will be always in the middle, basically. So you'll be fine. Okay, Hayden, you go from outside, immune all the way in. Ryan, same thing. You go from in basically all the way out, so you guys can catch the last ones together in case anyone's missing anyone. Eddie, you can do this, and Void, you can go and help the others. Again, I don't think 2 hunters are needed for this, but for now we'll have 2, and then we'll fix that so that wave 2 I have 2 paddles and the hunter going at the same time. Yeah, Swingy, same shit from outside in. Rogening, same shit from inside out. That's it. That's mostly it for intermission. The biggest issue will be the macro and testing the macro, making sure it works, getting to your positions and stuff like that. It's all gonna be practical basically in the game itself. We will have to figure it out.